Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the Kia Seltos Turbo Petrol Automatic DCT GT Line GTX Plus. That was a long description of the car, and straight away we are going to open the engine bay of this vehicle. It says 1.4 turbo GDI. There's insulation right there. Engine bay looks actually quite empty because bigger engines obviously come in this car abroad. The design of the Seltos is really very nice. It looks striking, a bit busy, yes, but definitely striking for sure. I love the lights on this car. They look absolutely beautiful. In fact, we should turn on the indicators as well. Just turn on the hazard light, na Neha. So as you can see, the design is really very nice. They spent a fortune on the lights itself because the lights look beautiful. Okay, you've got this jewel effect sort of a thing. This is the DRL, which actually extends till the mid, and then there's the chrome. This is the tiger nose grille, which also looks very nice. The lights look beautiful. All LEDs, not a projector setup, but all LEDs. These are the indicators. Again, these are LED indicators. And when you come down to the fog lamps, yeah, these are ice cube fog lamps, which are also LEDs. So unlike the Creta, which has cost cutting done for the fog lamps, this does not. This has got full LEDs, no halogens here. Front parking sensors. There's a front camera as well, which is somewhere here. I have to find it because, yeah, there it is. Right camouflage inside the grille, which also looks nice, black colored grille. Chrome finish on the grille, which looks super awesome because it's got this nerd finish. Kia logo boldly up front, and red treatment because this is the GT line trim. I'm not talking about the red number plate, I'm talking about the red inserts on the bumper. So definitely the car looks really striking because this is the GT line. It obviously has to have the GT line badging, which is done right there. Now in terms of size, this is actually longer, wider and taller than the Creta, although minutely, but both of them share the same platform as well as the powertrains as well. So you can see the design looks pretty good from the side as well, with the red inserts here, which is pretty cool. In fact, the red insert is also there on the wheels. Yeah, this is the red insert here. Front brake calipers are getting red treatment. Obviously, it's got front disc and rear disc as well. Ironically, the rear brake calipers do not get the red treatment, which is kind of funny as such. The tire size happens to be 215/60/17s. Again, big enough, and 7 DCT is written right there. So there's a camera below here because it's got a 360-degree parking camera, which is missing in the Hyundai Creta. And you've got chrome door handles, request sensor right there. And the roof rails also look pretty nice, but the sunroof is small. And there's a shark fin antenna. Now, it's got this chrome line which is continuing all the way. It says Bose right there because it's got a Bose sound system. In fact, everything is written on the outside only in terms of numbers, and also you've got UO power to connect written right there as well. And jogging is happening in full flow right now. At the rear, again, little busy, but the lights look beautiful. Again, like I was telling you, all LEDs, but the indicator is not an LED here somehow. That's kind of weird. Meanwhile, we've got the chrome line which extends between both the lights, which also looks pretty cool as such. And this is the reflector, I believe. So this is the rear design. The only point here is the fact that why do we have fake exhaust? So this is fake AF. You don't even need the stick of truth to tell that is fake. On both the sides it's fake, giving you the dual exhaust treatment, which by the way, the Creta gets a genuine dual exhaust system in the turbo variant. Now you've got these red inserts here, rear parking sensors. There's the reverse parking camera. Can you see the reverse parking camera? Yeah, that is the reverse parking camera. Where is the actual exhaust? This is the actual exhaust. Single tip exhaust. It's not got dual exhaust. TGDI, the engine name. GT line is the trim level. Doesn't say anywhere GTX Plus as such. And you've got this black treatment on the rear spoiler too. It's kind of cool. Looks nice as such. So that red treatment obviously extends all the way as well. 1 second. Can you just turn off the indicators? And like I was showing you the indicators, here you see, yeah, the bulb cannot be seen inside, but yeah, it is not an LED, which is kind of unfortunate. Let's open the boot of the vehicle. The boot carrying capacity is the same. There's a helicopter going somewhere. Yeah, there is a helicopter. Oh yeah. Okay, helicopter aside, let's come to the boot of the car. The same size as the Creta, 433 liters to be precise. My decathlon package of heavyweights are there, right there. There's a car cover, there's storage space on either side, and this is actually the subwoofer of the vehicle. Yeah, this is the light, and the spare wheel is 16-incher in size, so smaller size, 205/65/16s, and it is a spare wheel. I mean, it's not an alloy, it is a normal regular steel wheel, so cost cutting has been done there, of course. Coming to the rear seat, it says Kia Care. Well, I'm telling you now, plenty of stickers in the car. So Bose sound system, see the way the speakers have been done, look really cool. Storage space on the doors, very nice, very big enough as well, rather big enough as well. And you've got this red stitching on the leather, which is pretty cool. In fact, there's a soft touch here, and you know, everything is done pretty nicely on this car. There is sun blinds which are manually adjustable at the rear. For both the rear passengers, you can do it on that side as well. Seat gets these red inserts which are nice. Floor is almost flat and there's scooped out seat back. There's a magazine holder here as well. So there's good amount of space on offer without a doubt. In fact, this is where the amplifier is kept. Yeah, that is the amplifier of the music system. Here it is a smart pure air system. Now can you turn on the smart air purifier once? It's in all menus. I go to all menus, press smart air. Yeah, turn it on at the moment. And this is where the display comes. In the Creta, it's on the top. So when you're sitting at the front, you can see that as well. Here you cannot see it. It shows you AQI, which is air quality index. Rear AC vents, a storage space here as well, and there's a USB port too. There's an ant which comes complementary with the car, and which is just like enjoying itself. And then something from some packages come from somewhere, I don't know what. Meanwhile, it's got 3 adjustable headrests at the rear. The Creta gets only 2 adjustable headrests. There is no center headrest in the Creta, and you've got a center armrest with twin cup holders too. Now this seat reclines in 60-40 split if you want to improve the boot carrying capacity as well. Yeah, the seat belt is actually gone behind right now somehow. Seat is actually very comfortable. Recline angle is also nice. You can actually move the recline angle if you want. A little bit here and there. Yeah, that is it. You can change the recline angle if you want. But the seats are on the firmer side. The seats of the Creta are softer, and obviously the Creta has a airy feeling, rather airier feeling, because it's got a full panoramic roof. There's a light placement here in the center. There's a handle on both the sides, but a hook is only on the right side. It is not there on the left side. So if you want to do the split seat thingy, well, just press this button here. You can recline the seat to increase the boot carrying capacity. And like I was telling you, obviously the recline angle can be changed. You see there is a difference between the recline angle. If I push it forward there, it reclines further. Isofix child seat mounts as well. Now, when I was comparing this car with the Creta, I'm telling you the features which are there in the Creta which are missing in this car. Specifically speaking, like I was telling you, there's a request sensor here. On the other side, there's no request sensor, which is the same case with the Creta. So they cut costs on the request sensor. Hyundai Kia Group does that. That's not the case with Maruti or MG. They actually give you a request sensor on both the sides, and the camera is obviously placed on the other side as well. Now, you see the door pockets at the front are also large enough. It would have been really nice if it got a one-touch up-down for all the windows. It's currently only for the driver window, and the backlit is also only for the driver window. So this is not backlit at night, which is very disappointing considering this car has a lot of lights as such. Okay, electric adjust for the driver's seat. Nice red treatment. Seats are comfortable, a little bit on the firmer side. It says GT line. This GT line makes your back relax a bit further. Meanwhile, you got this red stitching on the center as well. A lot of red stitchings inside this car. It's full of red stitching. Okay, there is a dead pedal there. Pedals look nice. A lot of controls here. Traction control, heads-up display to increase or decrease the intensity of the instrument cluster. And this is the headlight leveler. This is the engine start-stop button. Straight away, once I get inside, I realize that firstly, you have got this Seltos badging which is there on all the doors, which is nice. Okay, you can call it the door garnish or something of that sort. Looks pretty nice and cool, but not something you really notice. Inside the vehicle, you see the dashboard design is very nice and very different as well. In fact, they have some soft touch material here, but plastics are on the harder side. A lot of hard plastics inside this car, and the steering feels definitely very nice to hold because it's got this red stitching which looks beautiful. Flat bottom, it says GT line right there because this is the GT line trim. And the glove box is actually decent sized, not really big as such. Okay, now there's storage space here. There's a 12-volt charging socket here, and there is a USB. There are 2 USBs. One obviously connects to the car, and one is to charge your phone. Now you see there's a hidden compartment here which happens to be for the wireless charger. So the wireless charging pad actually is here. So if you put the phone right there, yeah, there it starts charging. Yeah, there it is starting to charge. Very weird positioning. Twin cup holders. There's a physical handbrake. The Creta gets an electric parking brake along with auto hold function, which is actually missing in the Kia Seltos. The front center armrest has decent storage space below it, and this obviously encompasses the smart air purifier as well. Now in terms of features, this car obviously misses out on what I told you here, and it also misses out on a full panoramic roof. The roof is, rather the sunroof is smaller in terms of size, but it gets a lot of funky other features. So first and foremost, we are going to press this HUD button, and we're going to open this heads-up display, and there it comes out. Takes some time to come out, feels a little gimmicky, but it shows you the speed. It's actually telling me check blind spots before changing lanes. That's how cool it is. So there is the speedometer. In fact, it also gives you navigation data, and if you're going to be browsing through the audio system, it also gives you audio system information right there. Pretty loaded, huh, the heads-up display. What I really like is the instrument cluster. Okay, it gets a similar 7-inch digital display in the center, like in the case of the Hyundai Creta, but there is not a speedometer. In the Creta, obviously, the speedometer and everything encompasses that, but here you've got analog speedometer on the right and an analog tachometer on the left. and you've got telltale lights all over the place. The multi-information display is really cool because it also serves as the blind spot monitor for the lane change indicator. So when I give a right indicator, it shows me the right side. If I give a left indicator, it shows me the left side. This is super cool and super nice and works brilliantly well too. Multi-information display has a lot of information to offer. So obviously it's telling me what's the fuel economy like. There's a compass, low tire pressure is so coolly done. In fact, it tells you exactly what is the tire pressure on all the wheels obviously, but the graphics are super nice and super cool. All the information you would ever need, you can browse through this multi-information display. That's how loaded it is. Now these are obviously the controls for the cruise control along with the multi-information display. These are the controls for the audio system along with the voice commands. Now it's got something known as Hello Kia, and when you say Hello Kia, the car wakes up and you can give voice commands as well, something similar to Hello Blue Link, what's there in Hyundai cars. Meanwhile, it's got automatic headlights, it's got automatic wipers. Automatic wipers are not present in the Hyundai Creta, which is present in this car. So let's use the wipers right away. The wipers work brilliantly well. There's a lot of spray on offer. Auto dimming inside rear view mirror, and you've got these buttons for the connected car tech, which is UVO, this is for towing, this is for SOS, all these functions. And obviously you've got a sunglass holder as well. There is no mirror on the driver's side, which is also missing in the Creta. There is a mirror on the co-driver's side, but there is no light placement there. The steering is adjustable both for reach as well as rake, which is something which is missing in the Creta, unfortunately. So yeah, Hyundai has cut costs in certain areas where Kia has actually offered you features that's kind of different and smart as well. Now you've got ventilated seats for both the front seats, which is again a cool feature, but the switch on the Creta is just so much better and intuitive to use. This is for the 360-degree camera, so there I get into 360-degree view, and there you can see the camera. Obviously it has to be in drive mode, otherwise it's not going to show it to you. That is the camera. It looks really nice, really very slick, and obviously it's got adaptive guidelines as well. In fact, let me get into reverse. Now it's got to the rear camera, and this just works so fluidly well. I love the quality of the display. It's actually better than the MG Hector, the 360-degree parking camera. So Kia has done a great job on that front. Got front and rear parking sensors, of course. This is for the drive mode. So this is for the drive and traction modes. You can get into normal drive mode, and there's eco, there's sport as well. Now if you want to change it into traction mode, you just press it once and then it switches and shows you snow, mud and sand. Press it and then you get into eco, normal and sport. Now in sport, the good thing is, did you notice right next here, yeah, to the gear position indicator, once I get into sport, it shows you this really cool thing. Okay, yes, that's right. So what you're going to do is we're going to get into drive mode. So here it actually tells you how much revs are on offer, and that's super cool and super nice as well. So as you can see, this car is loaded with a lot of features. Now this binnacle, which happens to be a 10.25 inch in size, which is the same as the Creta's. Only thing is the Creta's is positioned lower and the AC vents are higher. Here it's vice versa. It's right into sight as well, but just the AC vent positioning is a bit weird. It's like the Mercedes way of doing it, because it's kind of joined to the instrument cluster, but it's a very different unit as such. Now this is obviously very fluid and nice, and it's got plenty of features. It's got navigation, which works fluidly, very nice, very beautiful. In fact, splits into 3 when you want to do some navigation, which shows you every information you would need while making a turn. And it's got a lot of information as well, like I showed you the smart pure air, which is the air purifier, which you can turn on from here. The interface is the same as the one in the Creta, and it's obviously got UVO connected car tech, which I've already explained earlier. However, the good thing is it's got sound mode lighting as well with multiple lights. The Creta has just one ambient light. This has 8 color ambient lighting, which again is really cool. In fact, you can get into various modes like party time, hey yo and whatnot, glow only mode, and I mean it's a lot of gimmick here, but too fun as well. Now you get into driving information. You see there's a lot of information on offer as well. Now it's fluid and nice, but could have been slicker still. You get all the usual bits which you would expect, obviously Apple CarPlay, Android Auto connectivity. And now it's time to play an audio for you from this 8-speaker Bose sound system. So obviously we've got 4 speakers, we've got 2 tweeters, and these are actually the tweeters of the car, and it's got a subwoofer, amplifier. That is the system of this vehicle. Now the driving position is really nice because you can actually see the dashboard while driving. That's really cool. Auto dimming inside rear view mirror, which I've already told you about. These are the light placements of the car. Just touch it and the lights get activated. In fact, this is the sunroof control. Let's open the sunroof right away. There the sunroof opens. Yeah, it's small in terms of size. If it gets a panoramic roof, you have to press it once again to open it further. If this car gets a panoramic roof, now that would be so amazing, because the size of this roof is very, very chinto as such. In order to close this, yeah, you have to manually put this sun blind back, which is not in the case of the Creta, because the Creta obviously has a massive panoramic roof, which is one of the biggest USPs of that car. Now you obviously get climate control, air conditioning controls are right there. And overall, I would say the Kia Seltos is loaded with a ton of features. It feels really nice inside the cabin as well. There are little differences which are there with the updated model. So we've got beige treatment here, but with the updates which Kia has given recently, the cabin is now all black. It also gets emergency stop lamp. The higher trims get dual tone colors, which is, you know, roof is a different color as such. That floating roof treatment. Meanwhile, lower trims also get the fake exhaust treatment. So yeah, certain things have been rejigged in the Kia Seltos lineup, but what hasn't is the mechanical package. It remains the same as before. So let's get driving right away. But before we get driving, I have to tell you this, that there are no physical controls for the audio system. You have to press the buttons, which is a bit inconvenient, especially for the co-passenger who's sitting all the way there. If they want to operate the volume, they have to stretch themselves. So now just, you know, do the volume thingy. Yeah, unless and until you have Kanun ke haath, it's completely cool. And the other thing is that this is obviously the audio control button. So you would never want to use the buttons on the infotainment system to control volume or songs, but the co-passenger will really have a difficult time, which is not the case with the Hyundai Creta. Now, of course, we've spoken so much about the Creta, but I need to tell you, I've done a dedicated vlog of the Kia Seltos earlier. You can simply click here to see that. Right now, let's just focus on the driving experience. All right, we're all set to go straight away. I drive off. Not fiddling with anything at the moment. When I say not fiddling with anything, I mean the drive modes, which you will do later. So you see the car is right now in eco mode and it feels so smooth and refined as well. Even the gearbox responding nicely. I love this. Okay, the blind spot monitor. I could not see that car, that Aria, in the rearview mirror, but I could see it in the lane change monitor, whatever that is called. And right now we're driving in eco mode. Very relaxed, not an issue. I get into the gas, yeah, it responds and gets quite vocal, above 5000 RPM, and the pickup is also very nice indeed. Alright, a restart. First we get into drive mode, we get into sport mode. Okay, traction control off, heads up display on, there it pops up, and yeah, everything's good. Wipers on automatic mode, revving the motor. Yeah, it doesn't rev as such, rev still 1500, 1700 RPM, and off we go. That's a lot of wheel spin on offer. And straight away, let me tell you, this 1.4 litre TGDI motor is absolutely phenomenal. And the way it pulls is sensational beyond words, because this motor has so much get-go. It's always ready for action. It's always having the thrust. It produces 140 horsepower at 6000 RPM and 242 Newton meters of torque between 1500 and 3200 RPM. So yes, it is a wide torque band, but not as wide as Volkswagen's TSI engines, which have an even wider torque band. And because of that wider torque band, of course, you can see the performance is absolutely brilliant. Okay, performance is very linear, turbo lag is well contained, and there's no kick in the pants feel here, because everything feels super duper linear. Now I obviously miss having paddle shifters, but I can slot the gear lever towards myself, get into manual mode, here we are into downshifting into third, and it upshifts at around 6000 RPM, where its peak power actually is produced. Yeah, peak power of 140 is produced at 6000 RPM. But you know, the motor is having all these things very nicely put together, because firstly, low end lag is very well contained. That's a good thing for sure. And the top end is nice, but it just wants to shift very fast at around 6000 RPM, because it doesn't have anything beyond it. Technically, the red line is marked at 6500 RPM, but it doesn't let me go beyond it. In fact, here we are into second gear, revving the motor. Yeah, upshift at 6000 RPM. That doesn't give you any manual control of things. The motor is nice and loud and vocal once you get past 5000 RPM, but is extremely silent lower down. This is a very silent engine. It's extremely refined, extremely punchy, and just has the go each and every given moment. In fact, it's so fast, it's faster than the Creta minutely. It goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 9.6 seconds. That blisteringly quick. Yeah, in fact, if that is quick, guess what the manual does? The manual is even faster, goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 8.8 seconds thanks to manual shifts. Well, manual is unbeatable, but today we are going to be talking about the DCT. I'm going to do a separate vlog on the manual as well. Right now, every time I get into the throttle, there is just immediate access to all that grunt. However, the performance is linear, so around 2,500 RPM, there is a small step up in performance, because the mid-range is really juicy, it's really nice, it's really proper performance in the mid-range. It's a joy to drive this car. But remember one thing, there's no kick in the pants feel. So it's not going to be like, oh yeah, now turbo is going to kick in here, because there's no silence before the storm, because there is no silence lower down. So so that the storm can be amplified, because it has good amount of low end punch. In fact, driving in the city you will face no issues whatsoever. That is the level of grunt on offer, that is the level of performance on offer, and that is the overall linearness of this 1.4 liter TGDI motor. TGDI stands for turbo gasoline direct injection, so obviously it's got turbocharging, it's got direct injection. Many people got GDI stands for diesel. No, it does not. The same engine which is shared with the Creta Turbo as well, but the difference is that Kia actually offers you more features in the car, but forget all the features. But Kia also offers you a manual, which is the most important thing here. Performance is mind-blowing. I love the way this car pulls so nice and hard and puts a massive smile on your face. This is a thoroughly enjoyable car thanks to the engine alone. This engine is an absolute gem, supremely refined lower down, little bit sporty in the higher revs, and most importantly, the difference here is this 7-speed DCT gearbox. Now, it is shared with the Creta, but the tuning seems to be very different. Probably this is an older car, because the newer car obviously gets slight changes like full black interiors. But in this particular car, I'm noticing that the gear shifts a little too snappy. I mean, it's always like Okay, what does mean? I don't even know. But what I'm trying to tell you is that the gear shifts try to be very fast. Okay, in sport mode it gets a bit too jerky, especially if you're driving in the city. You don't want to be in sport mode at all, because once you get into sport mode it just judders too much. It's too jerky, and snap on and off of the clutch really gets to you. So that's a problem. It has a jerky feel, and that jerky feel is not the most enjoyable thing. Well, that is a sport mode for you. Now, you don't feel as much of it in eco or in regular drive mode either. So right now when I'm driving in stop-go traffic, I realize that the clutch is just too snappy. It's just too jerky, and that jerkiness gets to you. In fact, if you get a layman on board, they will be like, oh, why is the car so jerky all the time? That is because of the gear shift trying to be super fast. So that calibration, I think they have actually given it a software update, but that calibration hasn't set through properly. Not as smooth as the Cretas, but that actually fast shifts help in the 0 to 100 km/h timing, because this is actually faster than the Creta, minutely, not by much, but the Creta is actually faster when it comes to kick down acceleration, thanks to the fact that the gearbox is tuned in a way that it just helps its cause. In fact, you heard that is the level of wheel spin on offer, because this motor is super punchy and the braking performance is very sure-footed indeed. And here we are revving the motor. Doesn't rev only. Yeah, but it spins its wheels. Now every time I'm trying to, come on, downshift. Can't hear much, but every time I'm actually trying to make you feel the sound by going to lower gear by touching the pedals, which don't happen to be there at all. Anyways, so like I was telling you, the performance of this car is really nice. Only thing is that jerkiness is there, which you feel mainly in sport mode, but you will never drive the car in sport mode in the city. You don't need to drive the car in sport mode in the city, because in sport mode, like I told you, that jerkiness of the 7-speed DCT gearbox is there. It is very fast with shift. It's very quick. It is absolutely urgent, but not the most refined gearbox, but it's not even as fast as Volkswagen's DSG unit. Now, of course, they are making DSG since such a long time. They have perfected it by now. Driving the motor, I love this. Okay, the shifts which come on the side telling you how much revs you're using is super cool. That is so much like what you see on Ferrari's steering wheel, which by the way is optional on most of their cars, and maybe on special editions it is standard. So as you can see, the performance is really very nice. No complaints on that front. The gearbox could have been smoother. In stop-go traffic, heating issues have been observed because the gearbox is so freaking, jerky, that obviously it gets to the gearbox and it starts heating up as well. Now I have manually shifted the gearbox into 7th right now. Yeah, we are into 7th gear, although the gear position indicator is not showing it to me. Yeah, now it is showing. I'm in 7th gear driving the car, and we are in manual shifts, which is actually sport mode when you use the Triptronic function. If I get into the gas, there's no shift happening. It's not going to give me a kick down shift. That's fine, which means that I can manually control things. At least I can manually control it on one side, if not both the sides. Making a lane change is so much fun because of that camera. Is so amazing. Now just imagine if I want to downshift, I'm driving at like, okay, if I reduce my speed, will it automatically drop a gear? Of course it will, because it cannot survive on that particular gear beyond a range. So here we are now. There, it dropped it into 6th. I get into the gas, I mash the pedal. No, it's not going to downshift. That's good. Here we are downshifting, and gear shifts are so fast, and all of a sudden it's like enthusiastically pulling nicely and strongly. That is a beauty. But there's something which is not that impressive, which happens to be the ride quality. It is on the stiffer side, and when I say it is on the stiffer side, it is really on the stiffer side. Especially at lower speeds, you can feel that stiffness. In fact, every time you're driving the car, right now also I can feel that the road surface is not perfecto, because you can feel all that expansion joints can be felt inside. So they have gone for a stiffer suspension setup, for better handling capability. And in terms of handling, it's good. Yes, body roll is well contained, especially when you compare to the Creta. Body roll is much better contained. Steering wheel also has more feel in the sense that it weighs up better. At lower speeds also it's heavier. It's not that heavy as such that you will feel any problem, but it is on the heavier side at lower speeds. It is on the heavier side at higher speeds. It weighs up brilliantly well, but it's not rich in terms of feedback as such. This is not a steering wheel which will put a smile on your face because it's not that communicative, although it will never create any panic. High speed stability is great as well. Now this is having 73% high strength steel in its chassis, so a stiffer chassis, a stiffer suspension, and all that stiffness obviously makes this car a handful over bad roads. But that's fine as long as you curtail your speed. Now obviously on higher trims you get lower profile tires, which also affect the ride quality adversely, but for the most part people who are on the driver's seat will not care about it, because when I'm driving, I don't care if I'm driving fast over bad road and my co-passengers are feeling it. But if you're a family man or if you're a family guy, you will definitely not be very impressed with the ride quality of this car, because it is on the stiffer side. But that flip side is good, because drivers will actually enjoy driving this car way more than the Creta, as the suspension does communicate a lot more. I mean, it's a lot more communicative, but still the feel of the car is not in the league of, say, the Renault Duster, which just feels so much more SUV. Although this car also comes with all-wheel drive system. Now obviously it does not come with all-wheel drive in India. It comes with all-wheel drive in other places like in Korea, but then in Korea it comes with a higher trim than the GT line, known as the Gravity trim. And it also gets bigger engine, 1.6 litre TGDI motor with a lot more power, 1.6 litre diesel engine as well. I'm not too sure how much you can hear me, because it is raining cats, dogs, monkeys, donkeys, chimpanzees, gorillas, bananas, you name it. It's raining like crazy. Now even with traction control off, nobody cares, because traction levels are good, grip levels are great from this vehicle, high speed stability is nice, mash the throttle, instant pull from the car. So in that sense, it's really nice with the way this Kia Seltos is able to track properly in line, have good high speed stability, and overall cabin installation is also well done on this vehicle. Now obviously the elephant in the room is that should you buy this car or the Creta? Well, it all depends on what kind of a person you are. If you enjoy driving, you will definitely like the Seltos more. If you want a big massive panoramic roof and passenger comfort is also the top priority for you, then you will like the Creta more. But what is the pricing of the car? The price difference, this is actually 4,000 more, I believe, when compared to the Creta, which is not much honestly. But more than that, the fact that it gets more features than the Creta and also gets the option for manual. Now this is priced at rupees 20.44 lakhs on road Mumbai, and the manual is priced at 1.24 lakhs lesser, which is 19 lakh 20,000. I would say just save that money, get the manual, because the manual is faster as well, more fun without a doubt. This is very convenient. The convenience of an automatic is unparalleled, and especially this state-of-the-art DCT box. Oh my god, what a combination. Amazing stuff by Kia and Hyundai, offering such great powertrain options in this vehicle. So like I told you earlier, performance is super awesome, ride quality is stiff, handling is good, steering feedback is decent but doesn't really communicate as such. It weighs up, which is a good thing. Plenty of features on offer. Braking performance is also very nice, sure-footed brakes on offer. And yeah, paddle shifters would have been really awesome on a car which has a sporty pretext. It feels sporty. It is a car which you would love to drive because of the stiffness on offer, because of the engine which loves to rev, loves to be pulled into the higher revs of the rev band, and just puts a smile on your face. So the Kia Seltos, like I see it, is a fab vehicle. Now they've curtailed the variants from earlier 24 to now I think 16 variants are on offer, and there's just one variant for this car, the one I'm driving. So there is no other turbo automatic trim. Turbo automatic is available in the top spec only, and there are two trims, rather two variants on offer for the manual as well, and others are obviously the other engines who we don't really care about right now, because turbo power for the win. Now you can see the heads-up display. I don't know if you can see it. It is super cool as well. Not the best in terms of design and all, but gets the work done. Fonts are clear. You can increase the size, and I've done all that and more. So the Kia Seltos comes across as a brilliant car which covers so many price points. In fact, I think the base variant starts around 11.5 lakh rupees or something of that sort for the base trim, base petrol 1.5 litre manual, and goes all the way to 20.7 lakhs. Now this is the second most expensive variant of the Kia Seltos lineup, because the most expensive obviously happens to be the diesel automatic. Now we're going to downshift, downshift, downshift. Come on, here we are into second gear, and yeah, I don't know why it upshifts so quickly. Like, let me enjoy the 6,500 RPM deadline. That 500 RPM is so important. Around 5,000 RPM it gets boomy, and then power tapes off really sharply at 6,000 RPM, because That's where the peak power is actually produced of this car. Fuel economy numbers, well, this will return around 8 to 9 kilometers per liter in the city. Out on the highway, you can stretch it to maybe 14-15 kilometers per liter. But drive it the way it's meant to be. Overall average fuel economy should be between 9 to 12 kilometers per liter with a 50-liter fuel tank, which is decent in terms of size. Now we have got 3 drive modes. We've got eco, we've got normal, we've got sport. What is the difference between these modes? There's actually a lot of difference between the modes because they alter not only the engine, the gearbox, as well as the air conditioning, but also the steering wheel. Now in sport mode, I mean, they have 3 different maps for all the modes. I believe the power in eco mode should be somewhere around 105 horsepower. In normal mode should be producing 120 horsepower. In sport mode it should produce 140 horsepower. These are just my rough estimates. They will be far from the truth because I don't know what is exactly the power and torque numbers. He has not revealed them independently for the various modes, and torque will also get altered. That 242 Newton meters is obviously in sport mode, and it also alters the air conditioning, which kind of blunts the performance of the air conditioning in eco mode. So best stay away from eco mode when you're driving in the hot heat. But there's very little difference between eco and normal mode. You can't really feel much of it, especially in the city. But with sport mode you can feel a big difference. Even the steering weighs up much better, performance obviously improves, and it holds on to a red line and doesn't upshift as fast. Meanwhile in normal mode and eco mode, obviously it upshifts as quick as possible, putting you in the highest gear possible as soon, so that it improves the fuel economy, it removes the jerkiness of the car, and just makes it so much softer and smoother to drive this vehicle. So a lot of trickery done both electronically as well as in other ways as well. It's also got terrain modes, which honestly who cares about, because this is a front wheel drive car, you're not going to take it off-road. Now I can technically call this a proper SUV because globally it gets off-road, right, proper 4-wheel drive system as well. So Kia, if they get it to India, obviously it will be on the pricier side, and that gravity trim is so lustful. It looks so amazing and beautiful too. I don't think they're going to get it because already the price range of this car is going above 20 lakhs on road Mumbai. And we're going to downshift. Paddle shifters are sorely missed. They would have been really awesome. And see, the mid-range grunt is so beautiful. It's so chunky that mid-range comes, pushes you forward, thrusts you ahead, and your smile is just never ending. So that is the Kia Seltos for you guys. What a phenomenal car. Okay, so much fun to drive as well. Now it's not Harrier level fun because the Harrier has a great ride and handling balance. It has a hydraulic steering too, so driving a Harrier is a different charm altogether. Plus it's diesel, so it doesn't drink much fuel and it has a lot of power as well. Will it be as quick as the Seltos? No freaking way. Seltos is just so fast, and that's largely because of the turbo petrol power. If I have to compare this car with some car, I would definitely compare it to the Fiat Punto Abarth, because it also used to get a 1.4 liter turbojet engine, T-jet engine, okay, and that used to produce lagbhag same power, I think slightly more, 140. That is 144 or something, but torque was 212 Newton meters. This has more torque because that is not a direct injection engine, that is a regular turbocharged motor. So all the high tech has been thrown in. Only thing is fuel consumption goes for a toss when you're idling the car because it's a turbo motor, and also when you are revving the nuts out, the more you rev it, the more it rewards you, and then it de-rewards you by sucking in money out of your wallet in terms of fuel cost. But who really cares, because the performance is so good, the refinement is brilliant. I'm still a diesel head, I'll still buy the diesel, but this GT line trim now makes me feel so special as well. Brilliant pull, absolutely brilliant pull. The way this car is able to pull, it just feels special. The Creta and the Seltos are so identical in almost every aspect that deciding one is all depending on what you like more. Like, I really enjoy driving the Seltos because I feel that stiffness is actually a benefit to me. Meanwhile, other people will be like, oh god, it's too stiff and all. Well, it depends on how many passengers you're going to be carrying in the car and what's important to you, a heads-up display and 360-degree cameras or not. And that bombshell, is time to end. Do let me know what you think about the Kia Seltos Automatic. Do you think Neha, what do you think about the car? Do you think it's good? How's the car? Do you like the feel-good factor of the vehicle?
Yeah, feel-good factor.
What do you like the most?
GT line.
Downshift?
Yeah.
Downshift.
This one is only in manual, not in automatic.
This is an auto, no?
That's what I'm telling you now. This fun, shifting gears, fun is only with the manual car, not with the auto.
Like the car?
दिखने में अच्छी है, और जब हम चलाएंगे ना तब बात करेंगे.
So let's Neha take an experience of the car and she's going to give us a vlog on that.
No. That's a good idea.
How's the car?
Nice. एक मिनट अभी तो बैठी हूँ चलाने तो दो पहले हाउस द कार एमी बता रहे हो आई जस्ट लव दिस heads up display it's look amazing
navigation is on now
yeah I know